Grace and peace, everybody. Good morning to y'all. Hopefully you all are having a great Thursday morning. Thankful Thursday. Thankful for you all stopping by, popping in. This is an early morning impromptu live stream. I was reading and I said, let me go ahead and talk about this as a live stream, as a podcast, because this is super interesting. So I'm not going to do a video on it. I'm just going to go and talk about it. I want you to think for a second. Just ponder in your mind your household budget. Whatever that is, you and your wife, if you're single, you and your singleness, you and your single and kids, whatever. What is your household budget? And I would love for you to imagine that you have to pay 10% of that away to another entity, not like giving it to church or anything, but in an adversarial, like let's say you got to give it to your neighbor because your dog went on the yard or something like that. And you had to give away 10% of your budget. How crazy would that be? would that be crazy? Now imagine if it were 20% of your budget, of your household budget for the year 2026. You're going to make X amount of dollars. You know you're going to make X amount of dollars, but now you got to subtract 10%, 20% from your budget, and you're already kind of strapped because you got kids in school and you got to take care of expenses and being an adult, so on and so forth. How would that work for you? Would that be easy peasy? Would you feel like, no, that wouldn't have no problem at all? I could handle it all with no problem. Most of us would probably not be happy that we have to give away 10%, 20%, 30% of our household budget for the year to our neighbor or an adversary because of something boneheaded that that we chose to do. And I think most of us would agree that would probably be a gut punch. That would probably mess up a lot of things. Kids might not be able to do soccer, might not be able to take their vacation. We'll have to cancel Christmas already in January if that happened. Well, that's Fani Willis. Let's talk about it. So everybody knows Fani Willis is the DA here in Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia, that brought Trump on those trumped up RICO charges some time ago. The case fell apart like a house of cards. And now all the cards have been flipped, the table's been flipped, and now Fani Willis is being looked at as not only because she was removed from the case, but also for maybe some malpractice, some malfeasance, and such of that nature. Well, here in Georgia, we have a law, and was recently signed into law, that if a prosecutor is removed from a case, the defendants have the right to seek legal fees. So if in this situation, if Fani Willis brought charges against the Jay Witt podcast and Fani Willis is found to be a complete and total sham, and I spent $1 million defending myself, $1 million is not really that crazy of an idea when you hear some of these cases. If I spent $1 million defending myself, well, guess what? Fani Willis owes me $1 million. It's really that easy. Well, Donald Trump, as we said it, Donald Trump is the first one to the bat. He said, hey, I want my money back. Now, you may or may not have heard this, but Donald Trump is asking for quite a bit. Oh, it's a lot of money. Wait. It's a whole lot of money. Have y'all heard this yet? Have y'all heard how much money Donald Trump is asking for? Just Trump alone, not even the other 18 co-defendants. Well, let me take that back. It's not 18 because like 6 pled out. So it's like 12. I think it's 11 or 12 that were still on the hook. But Donald Trump said, oh no, I want all my money back. It is a lot. Let me bring this in. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Well, first of all, Jason, bring that in. There we go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Donald Trump is now seeking more than some breaking news right now at 6. President Donald Trump is now seeking more than $6 million from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. In a motion filed today in Fulton County Superior Court, the president said the money would be used to cover his attorney fees and litigation costs in the recently dismissed criminal election interference case. President Trump says he is entitled to the compensation under a new Georgia law, which allows criminal defendants to recover expenses when prosecutors are dismissed for misconduct. You'll remember Fulton County DA Fani Willis was accused of having an improper romantic relationship with a private attorney she had hired to work on the case. We have reached out to the DA's office and will let you know if and when they respond.
Well, we already know she's not going to respond. There's one little hiccup. There's one little hiccup in this whole story, and it is removed for impropriety, and Fani Willis was found with the appearance of impropriety. To me, I think that's splitting hairs. I think that is really trying to dance on a razor's edge, but I think that's going to be a problem. So let me bring in, let's look at the article in question. And this is from The Hill. And let me bring this in. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Come on, Jason, get your life together. All right, let's go. Trump asked judge to award $6 million in legal bills for failed Georgia prosecution. And when the more you hear about the case, whether you like Trump or not, whether you think that he should be president or not, is not the argument. The more you hear about the case, the more you realize, like, yo, this thing was off. This thing was off the rails from the word go. It was bad from the word go. But anyway, President Trump asked Georgia judge Wednesday to award him $6.26 million in attorney's fees and costs he incurred defending himself against his now dismissed criminal prosecution in the state. Trump's efforts relies on a law Georgia legislators passed last year, which allows criminal defendants to recover their legal bills when their prosecutor is sidelined for improper conduct. So the only thing is, Fani Willis was not sidelined because of improper conduct. It was the appearance of improper conduct. I know that word appearance, and most of us non-legal experts would probably say we're splitting hairs, but apparently that's the only thing I think is a problem, is the fact that they use the word the appearance of impropriety or improper conduct. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis had indicted Trump over an alleged unlawful conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election results, one of 4 criminal cases he faced as he ran his second White House term. And actually, we probably should look at that, because we've since found out that Trump wasn't actually wrong in saying that there was something fishy about the results of the election. We've since found that out here in Georgia. So maybe we need to do a review of that as well. The courts ultimately disqualified Willis over an appearance of impropriety. An appearance. I don't know what the appearance is. Like, I can't think of any other situation where we say there's an appearance of bank robbery. There's an appearance of speeding. There's an appearance of lying. Like, why would you use that any other way? I hate that they did that. And I think that was Judge McAfee who did that. If he had not done that, I think this case would have been settled a long time ago. It would have been settled last year. Impropriety caused by her romance with the top prosecutor she hired to charge Trump. The extraordinary case formally came to an end in late November when the special prosecutor who took over declined to move forward with any charges. Wednesday's motion asked for $6.26, I'm not going to read it, $6,261,613.08. Okay, well, I got your 8 cents, my dude. Let me go look in my glove box. I got the 8 cents for you, my dude. In public funds, Trump's more than a dozen co-defendants could ask for reimbursement on their legal bills too. Now, the thing is, the reason I asked you before, how could you handle this if somebody came to you and said, hey, you have to pay, 10%, 20% to your neighbor? This money is going to come out of Fani Willis's budget. Fani Willis's budget is only $30 million. So if you have to give up $6 million of that, I'm sorry, she's going to be looking really weird real quick. That doesn't leave her a lot of money. Let's keep it going. The demand will go to Judge McAfee, who oversees the case. The new state law requires him to approve it if the amount is reasonable. All right. I'm sure it's going to, and the bad thing, the bad thing is this $6 million is only for Trump. That $6 million is only for Donald John Quavius Trump. That doesn't include the other defendants. So they probably spent, let's just say, the same amount, but they didn't have the same type of lawyers. So let's just say They spent $6 million on Trump, and the other defendants spent another $6 million total. That's $12 million of a $30 million budget. Your budget is toast. Your budget is cooked, Fani. And they're going to spend time wrangling about this and horse trading and fighting about it, but it's going to still be a lot of money. It's going to still be a lot of money, whether it's the full $6 million plus or they whittle it down to $5 million total or somehow or another. It's going to be a mess. And it's all because of Fani. Like, this case really did not need to happen. And now we know that it not only did it not need to happen, it now is going to negatively impact Fulton County wholesale. In accordance with Georgia law, President Trump has moved the court to award reasonable attorney fees and costs incurred in his defense of this politically motivated and now rightfully dismissed case brought by disqualified DA Fani Willis, Steve Sadow, Trump's attorney. In the case said in a statement, the motion includes more than 200 pages of documentation showing how Trump spent the seven-figure sum. Most of it would reimburse Trump for payments he made to his lawyers. That includes $2.3 or $2.31 million in the law firm of Jennifer Little, Trump's longest-serving attorney on the case. Drew Fidling, the lawyer for Trump who parted ways after he was indicted, was paid $1.46 million to his firm. The filing indicates. And Sadow, who replaced him, was sent $1.52 million to his firm. I'm just trying to look and see. Okay, there we go. The new filing indicates a copy of engagement agreement Trump's team and Sadow signed when the lawyer joined the case. Sadow was paid a $1.5 million retainer to represent Trump, covering up to and including sentencing. If Trump wanted to launch a post-conviction appeal, he would have needed to pay Sadow additional funds. Trump's new motion further asked to reimburse Trump for several other lawyers he paid, his $7,500 bail bond premium, and nearly $700,000 owed to 2M Document Management and Imaging LLC. Okay. Wow. All right. So that is where the case is right now. There is another article or another take on it from Newsmax. So I'm going to bring that in as well. I just think this is so interesting because this case, I'm telling you right now, this case did not need to happen. It did not need to happen. It didn't. So let me bring this in and man, just the headline alone. Let me bring the headline in so you can see it. Georgia taxpayers could foot $10 million bill for Trump's legal fees. That is amazing. That is amazing. All right, let's go.
Is senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, always great to see you. Good to have you this afternoon. What is your reaction to the latest information in this case? It could be a hefty tax bill.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you, my dear friend. Fani Willis's behavior in the case, of course, was reprehensible. She engaged in an inappropriate relationship with the prosecutor. She used state funds to fund the relationship, and then she and the part-time prosecutor lied about it. But the real reason that these defendants can get their fees reimbursed is because the case was dropped. If you prosecute someone and they're acquitted, you don't get your legal fees. If you prosecute someone and they're convicted, they don't get their legal fees. If you start a prosecution and cause someone to spend a lot of money and then decide you shouldn't have prosecuted them in the first place, bingo, they're entitled to legal fees. So even without that Georgia statute, because the prosecution was dropped by a subsequent DA, all the defendants, including the President of the United States, are entitled to their legal fees. And I think it's going to be an even larger number than Trump's lawyer suggested.
Wow. Well, Fani Willis got booted off the Trump Georgia case for hiring her boyfriend and now has to face an all GOP Senate committee on December 17th with Democrats crying witch hunt. So, Judge, I'm going to ask you to play politics a little bit here as well. How strong is the evidence that Willis actually broke the rules in terms of the Democrats' narrative or wasted taxpayer money, as you just mentioned?
It's very strong. I mean, the judge in the case that removed her for misconduct actually did her a favor. He could have turned her over to be prosecuted by her own office, or actually another DA's office would do it for the misuse of funds. She escaped this by the skin on her teeth. She really should have been prosecuted, and in most cases, she would have been disbarred.
Well, turning to this important case where we want to hear answers, a federal judge in New York has granted the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury records in Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case. And in his order, the judge cited the law that Congress passed last month that required the DOJ to release all of its records related to Epstein. Now, the move comes a day after a separate judge ordered the release of grand jury.
Sorry about that, because we don't need to talk about Epstein. That's not important at the moment. Yo, Fani's in deep water, y'all. Fani's in trouble. Fani is in trouble, man. So the very last thing is Phil Holloway, who is an attorney here in Cobb County. Shout out to Phil. And great content creator, excellent legal mind. He was on Fox talking about this. He's a friend of many of the lawyers that were defending Trump. He knows a lot of the ins and outs. So he was on Fox talking about this. And I think this might be a good one to end on. But I appreciate y'all jumping in. I just am really surprised that this case went this far. I really am. Living here in Georgia, I am surprised that we even allowed it to go this far. Many people thought it was a scam and a sham from the beginning. Lo and behold, we find out that, yeah, there was a lot of irregularities in Fulton County's voting during the Trump election. That was clear. And now, so him asking all those questions and asking questions back then, that really wasn't as weird as we think it is, considering what we know now. But let me bring this in. I think you all might enjoy. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go. Oh, why'd you do that, Jason?
Anyway, Trump seeks more than $6M from Fani Willis's office in wake of election interference case. Former Assistant District Attorney Phil Holloway joined the Faulkner Focus to discuss his take on Willis' disqualification and Virginia Gov. Glenn Youngkin pushing back on sanctuary cities in his state. President Donald Trump is asking the office of Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to reimburse him more than $6.2 million in attorney fees and costs in the wake of the recently dismissed 2020 election interference case she brought against him. The development comes after Willis was permanently sidelined from prosecuting the case against Trump last September. She had lost an appeal after the Georgia Court of Appeals said Willis and her office could not continue to prosecute the case, citing an appearance of impropriety stemming from her romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. The case was then dismissed in November. Georgia state legislators last year passed a law that says that if a prosecutor is disqualified from a case because of his or her own improper conduct, and the case is then dismissed, anyone charged in that case is entitled to request all reasonable attorneys' fees and costs incurred in their defense. The judge overseeing the case then is responsible for reviewing the request and awarding the fees and costs, which are to be paid from the budget of the prosecutor's office. In accordance with Georgia law, President Trump has moved the court to award reasonable attorney fees and costs incurred in his defense of the politically motivated and now rightfully dismissed case brought by disqualified DA Fani Willis. Steve Sato, Trump's lead attorney in Georgia, said in a statement, Fani Willis permanently removed from prosecuting Trump election interference case after losing appeal. President Donald Trump and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Anna Moneymaker / Getty Images. Alex Slitzpool / Getty Images. A motion filed Wednesday said, President Trump praised that this court award attorney fees and costs for the defense of President Trump in the amount of $6,261,613.08. Willis' indictment had accused Trump of pressuring officials to overturn the 2020 vote in Georgia, organizing fake electors and harassing election workers. A Fulton County grand jury indicted Trump and 18 others in August 2023, and Trump surrendered at the Fulton County Jail on August 20.
And we remember this. So I apologize. I got the link and I didn't realize that this is actually a reading of it, and it's actually not a good one. So I apologize. That was a mistake of mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit that out. But I appreciate y'all nonetheless. I think it's wild that we again have come here to look at this case, and we all knew that it was bogus from the word go. But there have been so many instances and so many road signs that this case was crazy. Now to get to the place where Fulton County is going to be on the hook for probably $10 million. I don't think there's any way there's not going to be 10 million. I just can't imagine. If Trump is already 6.2, like, did the other defendants spend less than that? I mean, there's no way to think otherwise. So this is such a sad situation because there was no reason for it. There was no reason whatsoever for it. And so Fani Willis is her name is mud again, man. She's gonna find another way. She's found yet another way to bring ill review to her name here in Fulton County. But let me know what y'all think about it. Y'all, I appreciate you all so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for tapping in. I really do appreciate it. Were you liking the video and all that kind of good jazz? It means a lot. So thank you so very much. I do want to say also that this evening we will be doing our usual watch party. I already got it scheduled. So hopefully if you are not getting notifications, please go right now to my channel, look under the live tab, and hopefully you see today's live stream already scheduled. I think it's scheduled for 5 o'clock and it's there. So go ahead and click on it, and you can even ask for notifications. Maybe that's something that you can do, because I know a lot of people have been saying that they haven't been getting notified of the live streams. We won't be playing bingo today though, because I have to go to the airport as soon as we get done. And so as soon as we get done, I have to go to the airport to pick up Lady Dear Woke Christian. So I need to kind of skedaddle. So that'll be it. So we won't be playing bingo today. Tomorrow is Friday. Allegedly, Candace is not going to be doing a live stream. That's perfectly fine, because I do want to go over, the judge is supposed to come back tomorrow morning. Yeah, the 9th. Tomorrow morning to determine whether or not the Macron case is going to be dismissed. And I would like to go over the findings or the ruling. Hopefully it'll be out and available by then. So tomorrow afternoon, we'll probably just go over, evening, we'll probably just go over the findings of the dismissal. I don't think it's going to be dismissed. So that being the case, I want to go over and talk about it, that kind of stuff like that. And so that'll be the plan. Lots of, yeah, I had to go help them out early this morning. So I had to put on the maroon and such like that. I got my green over here, so I'll be ready. I'll probably be back on green today. It depends if they need some help. Otherwise, I'll be back on green. No, there's no Egyptian plane. She's not on the Egyptian plane, unless it's like a Delta. I guess Delta. I don't know. They're kind of international, right? Anyway, y'all, I really do appreciate it. And I had a question I was going to ask y'all. No using Weird J. Who's Weird J? You know what? I like Artie Troll. Okay, Artie Troll's called out. Let me hear. I had not planned this, so now we're going off script. Now we're going off script here, Jason. Hold on, I didn't plan this. Let me real quick. Let's see what Artie's doing. I like him. I think he is a good content creator. Let's go check out what he's doing. You said Artie Troll's called out Candace today? She's mad at, is it the one she's mad at? It was about an hour ago, so this is probably it. Okay, let me grab it. All right, let me grab it real quick. Here, I'm gonna take care of your throat. I did say that. Here, let me here's Artie's link right here. Let's check this out. Let's see what Artie did today. I like Artie. I like to give support content creators that I find very valuable to the space, and Artie is definitely one of those that is super valuable to the space. Not saying that there's not others, but I like Artie, and I want to make sure he gets some shine. So this guy is working hard. He's a hardworking man. So let me check out what he's talking about on today. Let's go.
How's it going? I'm going to quickly sum up exactly what this whole entire episode of Candace Owens was. Before I do, though, guys, please give me a like and a subscribe. I don't shill. I don't ask for money. I'm not paid by anybody. I work a full-time job outside of YouTube at a factory making big pieces of coal into very fine powders to put into water filtration systems. But anyway, that's all beside the point. I just want to grow the channel as much as I can. So let's jump right on into this, okay? Candace, thank you all so much for being here, by the way. Seriously, you guys are amazing. Candace Owens here literally dedicated this entire episode to being upset with Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire. That's it. No new news about Charlie or anything like that. As a matter of fact, we kind of get to that. She apologizes just a little bit. Let's start off with this.
So I'm sorry that I had to dedicate this show not to further telling you more things that we discovered about Turning Point USA, but I wanted to fully respond to Ben Shapiro because I think that too is a piece of this. Like I've said.
Okay, yeah. So she thinks Ben Shapiro is absolutely involved with Charlie's end, for sure. That's awesome. Ben, she's also so sorry that she just couldn't cover TPUSA for one day. I wonder who the jealous ex is. Let's see. Let's see here. So Daily Wire clowns on Candace. He goes, Crazy Ex, Volume 1, making fun of her. Because they just keep making fun of her, which is making her so angry. I absolutely love this. Go follow the Candace Owens podcast here from Daily Wire. I think it's very, very funny. Very, very funny. It's her original account. They do own the likeness of it, and she admits it here. This is my old podcast. Legally, Ben Shapiro still owns the rights to it. Very funny. But at the end of the day, she's sitting there going, this is insane. This is stalking. Why are they talking about me so much? I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to talk about all my favorite people at TPUSA for months on end, nonstop. Ever since literally like September, what was it, 14th or 16th or something like that, she has been nonstop talking about how Charlie Kirk was betrayed by TPUSA. And as a matter of fact, she even says that here. Let me go in. I forgot to pull this one up, but I do want to show you that betrayed. Let's see here. Right here.
To me, that this whole strategy seems to be mocking me for having a dream that Charlie was betrayed. That's the joke, right? That's the in the no joke. It's a dream. It's a vibe. It's a vision. It's hilarious because it's ironic.
It's ironic. You literally said you had a dream that Charlie told you he was betrayed.
Right.
Come on.
Let me also point out something. That I think we know why we all agree Candace is mad, right? But I think she's mad because she can't really do anything about this. She can't sue Daily Wire because it's their content. It's their content. And she can't sue Daily Wire because she said it. It's her words. So I think she's really upset, and really tacitly what I think she wants is she wants her audience to go after Daily Wire. That's what she wants. In my opinion, she really wants her audience to attack Ben and the Daily Wire and anybody who dares to audition for this show that they were trying to put on. She really wants them to be attacked and to be drugged through the proverbial social media streets. That's what I think she wants, because there's no other reason for this. Because why are you bringing this up? You can't sue them. You're not going to stop them. You're punching down, according to your testimony, which, by the way, on Spotify today, if I'm not mistaken, Daily Wire is higher up on the scale than Candace is. I have to find that result, but Candace has gone from number 1 that one day to like number 40 something, and Daily Wire is ahead of her. So I think really what we're watching is her just being completely unhinged. So Daily Wire is doing the Lord's work, in my opinion. They can keep doing this. I love it.
These people literally had no meaningful relationship with Charlie Kirk himself.
Because they didn't have a wet dream about him, really? Okay.
Charlie was the king of dreams. It's insane how many messages I have with Charlie Kirk about his dreams. He believed his dreams. You guys have no idea. The vivid dreams. I've only showed you one of the text messages.
And so that just gives you a pass to just be like, oh, he believed in dreams, so therefore I could believe in dreams and just apply it to reality. Really now? Okay. That's a crazy thing to do. Okay.
Since he was a kid, he had those dreams, by the way. And last year, I was like going through a lot, reading back through our text exchanges. It was, I'll be honest with you, it was kind of scary.
Yeah, you had to go pretty far back, didn't you? It's kind of wild. Why not more recent? Why
Right.
nothing recent, Candace? Also, was that the only time she mentioned that too? Did she end up in the end saying that he actually was betrayed? If I remember right.
He said it
Let's see,
before.
that's the joke. Think that I dreamed that Charlie was betrayed. Let's see, knowing. Here it is. She calls it a literal prophecy, though, guys. She is just a few screws short of saying that she's the Messiah.
It's not a dream to me. It's like a prophecy. It's like Charlie was betrayed. I don't know what else to say to you. And I hope I give you guys the permission to believe in something like that. You know, to this whole world, I feel like is designed to make us not believe in ourselves. And I think that's something that Kanye used to say a lot too. Like they want.
This is just literally the ramblings of a psychotic person. Literally the ramblings of a psychotic person. This is wild. So anyway, back over to this. As she's complaining and complaining, this whole freaking episode is just about the Daily Wire. Ben's no-nos, all his stuff. That's all. This was worth her time. I want you all to understand this. This was worth her time more than figuring out what happened to Charlie. What this tells me right here is she truly does not have anything outside of this. This is rock bottom Candace.
I think we've known this before, to be honest with you. I think truly Fort Hawktua, that whole story was really just a nothing burger. That was really it. And before that was the Egyptian planes. So I don't think she really has had any content before Thanksgiving. Anything that could really be like sink your teeth in before Thanksgiving, in my opinion. But, you know, let me know what you think. If you think that she did have something, feel free. But I don't believe she had anything. And I think it's really fair. She had nothing yesterday. And this week has just been completely without purpose.
Does not have any other evidence to show you at all. This is as far as it goes. She is now relying on more people, and she's just literally trying to bide herself more time for some crazy peoples to give her more information on the internet. That's all. She's just waiting for someone to light up her inbox. That's it. She's got nothing else at the moment, guys. Listen to this.
Great advice and told me not to even send in the audition tape. I let the producer.
This is a girl who apparently auditioned for the role to get the part of this no-no show that Daily Wire did. And she was like, I didn't like it. They wanted me to make fun of you, and I didn't like it at all. That's what she's doing.
Know that it was not the right fit for me. Attached below is the AI video that they sent me and the text that I sent the producer. And also proof of the call. The producer has been nothing but kind to me, so I was planning to pray it. I wanted read. So I'm just going to.
So now she's going to show us the video that they sent, that they wanted her to audition for, essentially.
Show you the AI video that they sent out to people, to young women, to see if they would audition for this. You're coming. Weird underground bee farmers, like a Polish communist underground symbol.
The evidence is overwhelming. The connections are undeniable.
Hey, no-knowers. Welcome back to The More You Know.
I don't know if this music is copyrighted or not. So I'm not going to play that.
We have some serious...
Just, you know, seriously. That's a little ridiculous. But anyway, this is the whole thing. And they're like, oh, look, this existed beforehand. There was a pilot for it. And it's like, oh, wow, I don't care. Yeah, obviously. They already did the episode and shot it. You know what I mean? Well, this is just crazy that they were trying to find people to fill the spot for the episode. Okay?
To be fair,
yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all.
To be fair, the video that Candace was sent was that young lady's audition tape. She was auditioning for a job, right? And it was just an audition tape. But follow on from there, Candace made it sound like they've already put this out. I think personally, Daily Wire is trolling her and getting her out of frame and out of her square, so she'll melt down. I think this is perfectly timed chaos for Candace, because Candace truly doesn't like getting back what she's been doling out. That's very clear, extremely clear. So I think what we watched, because we saw the video, And it was really just an audition tape. And the young lady did the audition tape and sent it in. That's all it was. And I think now maybe it's a proof of concept. Maybe it really was never going to get greenlit. Maybe they just wanted the tapes and they just wanted to leak it out to Candace so she would start losing her mind. Whatever. It seemed like they're winning. It seemed like they got her by the short hairs. Let's go.
I think this is exactly what they would have had to have done in order to hire a person to do this. We saw the original video that they ended up making after this. Yeah, anything before that, having auditions for it and stuff like that seems pretty plausible from Daily Wire. Seems like it'd be the normal thing to do. It's pretty weird, isn't it? So anyway, this is this is pretty nuts.
Away from the feeling, the knowing. It is so deep. It is a knowing. It's not even a feeling. It's a knowing. It's not a dream to me. It's like a prophecy. It's like
I already did. This is the prophecy one, right? I actually already did have it pulled up, I guess. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the last thing, which is Tyler Boyer. This is hilarious because this applies to Mitch Snow. Listen carefully.
USA, which has become a major force in Arizona Republican politics. This is a kind of article that you should pay attention to because it is further certifying what I am telling you. Okay. Tyler Boyer needs to be looked at and investigated further. And yes, how dare you question his friend? Well, people who commit crime.
Before we let her finish that sentence on people who commit crimes here, this is all about a guy, Tyler Boyer, apparently hired for TPUSA. Apparently the guy has been arrested for forging signatures on ballots, actually. That sucks. But he's going to jail for it. Don't care, really. Okay?
But how does Candace know? And I was listening to this earlier, and I thought about it. How does Candace know that Tyler Boyer hired the guy that is going to jail now? How does she know that? Like, again, she somehow or another, people keep giving her a pass to say things without any evidence. Like, how do we know that you know this information? And that this information is right? How do we know that? And I think people need to ask that. Anyway, get done, Artie.
Just desserts. I don't care if he's right wing or left wing. You mess up like that, you go to jail. Tough. But this is what she has to say about that guy. This is interesting.
I am telling you, okay, Tyler Boyer needs to be looked at and investigated further. And yes, how dare you question his friend? Well, people who commit crimes are open to committing crimes. I don't know what to say. I've been around. I've seen some stuff.
Kind of like Mitch Snow.
Right.
How dare you question Mitch Snow? Oh, you know, the guys who ended up committing crimes like beating their spouses and going to jail in 2023 and 2024 for domestic abuse tend to probably keep doing that, don't they, Candace? That's not what you would say, though. You would never say something like that.
Okay. If you're willing to commit fraud, if you're willing to use a dead person's signature to further your career, you're probably not against doing that everywhere you work. I don't know. Kind
of like telling somebody, you know, also that your father's the Zodiac, you know?
Right.
To try and further himself. Telling people he fell off an 80-foot mountain when he didn't. Landing on the, you know, injuring himself to get out of the military.
Yeah.
Kind of like telling people that he actually didn't actually injure himself. He was in the witness protection program from hiding from the cartels. And then never actually is ever in the witness protection program, ever. Never changes his name until he gets married in like 2020, when all this supposedly happened in 1990. You know what I mean? And then we found out that he actually didn't leave the military till 1996. So he couldn't have been in the witness protection program whenever the tunnels were discovered. It would be impossible. I don't know. It's kind of wild. It's a pretty ridiculous all around catching him in a lie. So once a liar, always a liar, right? People who all agree with you completely, Candace. I will agree with you 1,000,000%.
Well, I'm gonna agree with Candace because there's a reason why I agree with Candace, and here it is. This is what I think Candace is forgetting.
But I don't like little lies. When there is one lie, there's 20.
I think she forgot about that. Like, if there's one lie, there's 20. Then let's apply that same thing to Mitch Snow. And again, I think this dude is just a gentleman that has some mental issues, and somehow or another he wants to, I don't know if it's like main character syndrome or something where he wants to insert himself into these major stories. and such like that. And he just wants to be a part of them. And so he makes up the story about the drug tunnels. He makes up the story about falling off a mountain. And he makes up the story about witness protection and all this stuff like that, because he wants to be a part of something that he can feel good about, I guess. I don't know another way to say it. So that's what I think about him. But let's see how Artie finishes this up.
Once a guy is trying to forge signatures to further his career, he's probably willing to do it again. I'm willing to bet that somebody also lying about their career would more than happy be lying as well. Are we in agreement? Are we in agreement here, Candace? Can we agree? I'd like to think we're in perfect agreement about that. Thank you so much for admitting Mitch Snow is a fraud. This was absolutely incredible.
Point action seems to be problematic. One of the early tips that we got from somebody inside of Turning Point USA was that a lot of money was missing from Turning Point action. I'm still working to...
I haven't heard anybody say money was missing, period. You have not shown that money was missing at all. There's no missing money. There was money that were put into other accounts that you thought were weird, but it's not missing, and they addressed that. So where is it missing at? That's what I would like to know. What is missing, Candace? That's interesting. You're implying that it just disappeared. Nobody knows where it's at. I don't think that's correct, Candace. I don't think that's correct at all. Because you managed to show where it was at. But what about this missing crap? That's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, it doesn't even matter. I'm not here to even argue that. This is ridiculous. Now we know for sure Mitch Snow is a fraud. Now we know for sure that she is the biggest hypocrite on the internet. Literally, Ben Shapiro, please stop. No. Erica Kirk tells Candace, please stop. And she says no. Isn't that weird how it works out?
That's it.
It's parody at its finest. Ben Shapiro's not allowed to do what Candace Owens is doing at all. I don't even care if Ben Shapiro's in the wrong. At least he's doing it in a way that is the exact same as Candace. Let's say we're all wrong about this, okay? And Ben Shapiro himself is in on this, right? Even so, he's only doing what you are doing right now. How is that not fair, Candace? Anybody wants to make a parody channel about me laughing and making fun of what I'm saying on here? Go for it. I don't care. You're so mad about parody. Look at her. Look at her. You know, this is my old podcast. Legally, Ben Shapiro still owns the rights, so he is using it to share a compilation of me defending myself against their repeated attacks against me over the last 2 years. This is real life. The Daily Wire is using my old podcast to attack me. So I said,
shout out to
one of you is not attacking you. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section.
Shout out to Artie. Shout out to
him. Guys. Thank you all so much for being here.
Because you all have been such great people. Hold on. Have y'all got my likes up? How many likes I got? I got 372 people watching. Can your boy get them likes up? Give me my likes up. Because I found a funny video by another content creator that we need to shine a little bit of light on. And if we get my likes up, we'll watch it. Let me see how many likes I got. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead, help your boy out. Wasn't money missing from Blexit? Wasn't Candace fired for it? I think you're right. Alex Jones did say Mitch was a fraud, and she thought Alex Jones was hating on her. Right. I say that Mitch is a fraud. Candace says I'm hating on Candace. How does that work? Are you Mitch? Like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't even make sense, but thank you so much for that. Okay, so there is a content creator. Her name is Alaska Bird. I don't know what an Alaska Bird is. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. Listen to how often Candace talks about her feelings in a single episode. It took me all day, but this proves that around 70% of Candace's statements are manipulation statements. I'm being generous. I took out the fluff to reveal the patterns in her language. Largely, her statements are, I feel, they feel, it feels like statements. When she's not talking about her feelings, she's throwing shade with the worst adjectives she can find. Weird, odd, not normal, disturbing, gross, icky, demonic, obscure, evil, and various words I won't use here. The dehumanization is the worst. Inhumane, demonic, evil, fake, gay, not human, inhuman, robot, sentinel, while describing herself as the only real human. It's voluminous, but very revealing. She wears people out, which makes them very susceptible to her traps. She exhausts them until they accept her narrative or her terms. Anyone who's lived with the true narcissist knows this pattern. I should say pattern all too well, not diagnosing. All right, so let's bring this in. Y'all got my likes up? Y'all got the likes? Are the likes looking right? All right, let's bring this in. This is Alaska Bird on the Twitter. So if you want to check her out and support her over there, that'd be great. Here, let me drop the link to this in the chat as well, because this is impromptu here, y'all. And then I'm gonna get going because I got my maroon shirt on. I gotta go do some work. Let's go. Check this volume. Volume is right. Let's go.
Not relatable to the rest of us. It actually makes people who have a soul feel icky. How Republicans are feeling on the internet about how people felt when they watched it. It felt like everything, that's the vibe that it's getting. It feels like we're being mocked. Now, to describe how I felt, I think that these people are not human, that maybe look like humans. That's how I feel. I feel like it's the single solitary event that contributed to my realization is that everything feels weird and wrong, that everything is fake and gay. It feels like we're watching a movie. It feels like we're all in the Truman Show. And I feel like I have been being gaslit about that. How we all feel right now. And I think that that's a normal human feeling, right? But I hate him anyways. That's how I feel. I hate him anyway. I don't ever want to hear his voice ever again. It's excruciatingly odd question. So it doesn't matter what the question is. I wanted to tee that up so you could see it. How does that make you feel? How weird is that? The way that I feel when I watch that clip is like, we're just different. I don't know what species that is. Horrified. I was aghast. I don't think I ever described myself as aghast. I was aghast. It was ghastly. That struck me as odd. It is, but I can't relate to that. I can't relate to the idea. That's weird. Very much believe there is something here because we've clearly woken up to the fact that everything is fake and gay. They want to start rewriting laws. She could sue you if she feels cyberbullied. It spoke to my soul when I heard it. That's how I felt last year. It feels like they're just giving us more stuff. That's how I feel. I just feel like that is where I feel ready to fully embrace that materialism because all of this is effing weird. And more weirdness that's going on. I love scooping people when they're just being weird. Yeah, I was a little fired up. And the reason I had sort of sat at the end of last year, normal person, just so you guys know, in a normal world, actually toxic. And when I said to people that it was getting to a point where I felt like I was being stalked by them, I said, I genuinely feel like when you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt. Like it felt like a crazy ex stalker. There was an element of this that felt, and I truly am not trying to be dramatic here. It feels like they're sending more of them to say and do things that are obviously abnormal, that are obviously inhumane. And that was how I felt. That was what I was expressing to you at the end of last year, to send clips and have people make fun of me. What's weird, it makes me uncomfortable, dedicated to making fun of me. Insane. Okay? Insane. People are losing their minds as essentially they don't know how to behave like humans. You know what I mean? They'd be calling him.
It's interesting how many times she said that they're making fun of me. Like, does she not see that that's what she does? Is she that obtuse that she doesn't realize that she's the one that's making fun of Charlie's legacy or making fun of Turning Point USA or making fun of Christian pastors or making fun of people? Like, does she not see herself? This is so wild. Anyway, let's finish this up.
Demonic. What have I done wrong here? That he was crazy. He's basically 100% certain in yourself, and you can keep pretending that this is not how the public received this event. This is not. I wasn't sure if I was going to have him on the show. Felt weird about asking him. It was just madness. It was kooky, aggressive effort to act like I've attacked him. I have no idea what he's talking about. If the attacks were in the room with you right now, I literally have no idea what he's speaking about. I was off air as a human being, but actually it can't comprehend real human emotion. And first it played like they were friends with him. So he pretended to be a brother, like effectively threatening me and saying like suddenly we are being brought into Jerry Springer. But why that upset me was because they were willing to drag me through the mud to try to have me, I would say, threatened by these YouTubers. We were very open to, so what is this actually about? Right? What is this actually about? And what was upsetting to me, first and foremost, because this makes no sense, that to me ran counter to my meeting with Erica. I was left under the impression and I thought they were trying to make me look like a liar. I wasn't exactly sure what to believe when I left. Again, these are two disputed narratives. I don't know what to believe. What I see now is that I'm getting played because he's being told to attack me and to attack my narrative, being told to lie on my name, and is allowing these attacks to happen, sitting there longer, except that he is just going rogue. Okay? To me, shows coordination. There's no other way to read it.
Don't be lying on my name. Put some respect on my name. This poor woman, man.
Everybody had a lot to say and things were crazy. And oh, Candace is crazy. Max Blumenthal's crazy. He also reported this. Everyone's lying. That's not true. Everything was amazing. Well, I don't know actually why I wasn't told that earlier. Something very disturbing is happening. There's a piece of me that is angry about the fact that I have been telling the truth. And I feel like I have been being gaslit about that, where I think shocked her. We don't need to submit your alibi to some obscure YouTuber. You don't have to have Alex Jones go after me or attack me. I'm the only person that has been well-intended. And what happened is I explained to him that I was now pissed off. A violation of our ceasefire, okay? You should be mad at Tim Dillon and not at me.
It's deeply unsettling to a lot of people. It feels like you're being played. You feel it. It seems off. You feel like this is a coordinated and choreographed spectacle so that you are played.
I was trying to be gracious, okay? I'm already the media's public enemy #1, but I want to let that hit me like a tidal wave. And never have I ever seen a more aggressive psychological operation or a more obvious operation, for that matter. That doesn't have to do with anything. This is just illogical.
That's a great question. What does that have to do with
anything? The media just wants us to move on and keep going. Is how many of us humans are left. So don't understand these obscure people who were obsessed with, and the droids keep droiding, right? But they were ashamed because he was a really bad dude. So then they pivoted again to rather gloriously and definitively declare that Erica had an airtight alibi. This is when things went very sideways, and I thought maybe she needed to believe that. That's what you get. Don't lie on my name. Don't direct people to attack me. There's moments where Andrew goes mask down. Said, well, don't worry about that. I'm not going to release the message. I think the public trusts me. I'm not going to release the message if I say I saw it. Feeling like a ceasefire is violated. I think that's fair. I think that is fair. I still feel that way. I still think I have not learned my lesson. It's never going to stop.
Okay, here's an example of Candace being totally obtuse about the situation. She doesn't like when people mock her. She doesn't like when people make fun of her. But all in the same breath, she has this ET on her desk saying that that's Brigitte Macron. Now, if Brigitte Macron is really a man, or if Brigitte Macron is really a woman, aren't you mocking either way by using ET to say that that's what the person looks like? Isn't that mocking them? So when they mock you, Candace, and make fun of you, then why are you upset? You really, truly, in good faith, can't be upset about that. You actually have to say, okay, fine. I got to let bygones be bygones. I throw it out. I dish it out. I got to receive it. I treat them like this. I got to receive it like that as well. Kind of like where the Bible says, judge not lest ye also be judged. In the manner of which you judge, you will be judged. And it just seems like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been doing that. Maybe I shouldn't have been putting out mockery and making fun. If I don't want mockery and making fun brought back to me, it's really that easy.
It's really weird and it makes me uncomfortable. We are in, I know I'm sure everyone feels this way, but it feels very end of times right now, where their old tactics are not working and they're growing increasingly desperate and increasingly angry. And I just feel like everyone's glitching right now. People that we used to trust, they're just sort of glitching, and we're starting to see them for what they are as a part of a larger psychological operation. And they're just handing us more things, more stuff that's meant to distract us. And they didn't want us to be this focused. Israel's involved. Oh, you don't have to imagine that. I mean, Israel is always good to come right out and say, yay, this was good for us. That's what I expressed to some of my followers who were like, Candace, I'm confused about your take, the false dichotomy here. The idea that if you're not happy that, and I sense now that people go, wow, a lot of Christians are being murdered. I think Israel's salivating. And so many times you keep falling for the same thing, like the same CIA narrative. I just don't know how many times we can keep engaging in the same stupid sports and expecting different results. We're just doing the same stupid thing over and over. Oh, very top, the oligarchy that runs the world got richer. They became more powerful. And the rest of us, yeah, no, not doing any better actually, but just keeps happening. Just keeps happening. And I just would like to get off the hamster wheel. So no, I recognize patterns. Everything about Amphes was fake and gay, and it was like a celebration of his death. But we're humans, so that's why we saw it for what it was. And other people can't recognize it. So Ali Stuckey's gonna hit the Bible verses and tell us why we can't feel the way we feel. I bubblegum Christianity. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see people lecturing me about why I should accept evil and acting like biblical proverbs are just Snapple facts. You just flip it open, see how it makes you feel. Like that's not it. Bubblegum Christianity. I think you had you peaked at the beginning of 2025 and you went down real fast. So to make it cool and actually kind of telling us what to think. You guys all look like a psyop right now. You do look like a psychological operation. That just remove the Bible. Let's just make it fair. Let's make it real. Okay? Your psychological operation has been failing. I don't even think we made many mistakes. I haven't lied about anything. I've asked questions, and it makes you happy if he texts me tonight and says, "Here's where I was on the morning of the 9th, and here's proof of that." I'll say, "Okay." I feel like it was. I feel at this stage that it was.
All right. Here's the last thing I'm gonna do. Last thing. All right. I told y'all that I really think Candace is upset, and I think I know why. I believe I've come to understand why Candace is so upset. All right. And it kind of goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. If you had a budget of X amount of dollars, I'll use an example that you have a budget of $100,000. That's how much your family is going to bring in for the whole year, right? But you have to give away $10,000 or $20,000, and you're already kind of tight with the $100,000. Well, now you only can operate on 80. Well, now things are going to get a little bit weird around your house, right? I think that's fair to say. And you're going to probably, let's just say there might be some strife in the house if your money went down that significantly because you really didn't have it to give away. I think I found out what Candace is upset about. Besides the mockery and making fun of. So let me bring this in and let me see what y'all, let me make it larger first. All right. Okay. Let's do a project real quick, boys and girls. On the screen right here, you don't even have to bring out like hard numbers. About how much is this? If you add up 7,661 plus 3,272 plus 2,000, if you added that up just real quick, fast and dirty, what would you come up with? And put in the chat. Again, it doesn't have to be, you can round it up and do like some quick math in your head. You don't have to pull out your abacus and your smartphone, all that kind of stuff like that. But about how much is this? Okay, I like that. That's where I was feeling. I was gonna say 19 just for quick math. Okay, over 18. That's fine. Okay. Like there we go. Lots of good. There we go. Yeah. It doesn't have to be hard and fast. Okay. Is it fair to say that if you made that much in a week, you'd probably be pretty happy? Is that fair? Is that a lap too far to say, oh, if you brought that in a week, you'd probably be, tell the truth, you'd probably be pretty happy, right? Give or take. I think it's fair. That's not being greedy. That's just telling the truth. I'm thanking the Lord because we're going to get some stuff done, right? All right. Well, Jason, what is this number that you're sharing with me? What is this number? What is that? Well, this is how much Candace made the week before she went off the air for Christmas break. That's how much she made that week. Okay. And I'm looking at, this is only in super chats. This is only in the super chat. So I'm on Playboard and I'm on Candace's thing. You see Candace, sorry, you can't see it, but Candace is up here at the top. And it's playboard.co. You see her little picture right there at the top. And this is her super chats for the week before she went off a break. And I think we all can agree that if you made $18,000 in a week, you'd probably be pretty happy, right? Well, let's find out. Well, Jason, okay, if they show you how much she made the week before, did they show you how much she made this week? Well, actually, they do. And this is why I think this is why she's scrambling and scraping. So she was off all during Christmas break, all into the new year, all that kind of stuff like that. And this is how much she's made so far. That's a significant cut. That is a humongous cut. So this is her numbers for the 6th and her numbers for the 7th. For whatever reason, her numbers for the 5th. Oh, that was Sunday, right? Sunday was the 5th, and then this is 6th, this is 7th. So it's Monday, Tuesday. Her Wednesday numbers are, wait, what day is Wednesday? Monday was the 5th. I don't know why there's no numbers for Monday. I can go back and look. There's got to be a number for Monday. But I think it's all to say her numbers have gone down significantly. It's not just the viewerships. It's not just the views, because we can look at her views. Her views have gone down too. Of course, her views went down during break. But that last day that she went, that day right there, that was that 7,000 day where she got like something crazy, like almost 1 billion views. Is insane, right? But her numbers are going down pretty serious. And I'm not saying that she's in trouble. I'm not saying she's in desperation. Don't hear what I didn't say. Let me see if I can find this video. Hold on, let me look at her video. 12. The 5th was what day? Yeah, this is the last one. So she doesn't have a, did she not do a show on? Yeah, here it is right here. She didn't, it says she didn't make any super chats that day. That, I can't believe that.
All right, you guys, Happy New Year.
Yeah, it says 0 super chats. I don't believe that. Something's wrong with that. That Qatar money hadn't been coming in. But that's what I think is the problem. Part of the problem is that the 5th was Monday. Yeah. So I'm not certain why this show says that she didn't make any super chats that day. Something's wrong. But I bring that up only to say, I think that's part of the problem is that her numbers have significantly went down over the break. And coming back into the new year, they have not been the same. And I think that might be it. I mean, here's the link. If y'all want to check it out, it's called playboard.co. Here, let me pull up hers so you can get there. It'll open up to her page. There we go, right here. And you can see it. And you can look at all the numbers. And yeah, I mean, like, that's crazy. So I just want to bring that up. I also want to say thank you very much. What did you say here with the 2? You said, I've seen the video long before this week. Oh, you're talking about the video from Artie Trolls. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for the very kind super. Starting the day off with some kindness. I appreciate you. And I just want to say, y'all check into it. Let me know what y'all think. Dig into it. Dig into the crates. Let me know what you find out. I'll see you all this afternoon. I plan on going live around 5. And I do got to skedaddle, though, and get over and get my wife after we get done with the show because she's flying back in. But before then, though, thank y'all so much. I do have a video or 2 popping up throughout the day, so feel free to check those out as well. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much for liking the video. Make sure you tip your waiter on the way out the door. If you don't mind, please, if you like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm fighting feverishly to get 100,000 subscribers before the end of April. I'd love for you to be a part of the celebration. So thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all. Until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whitt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.